Welcome back to my channel. I'm Letters for Life, where I encourage people through handwritten letters of encouragement. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 mistakes I made on my first novel. Alright, so the first mistake that I made being an author is that I don't feel like I did enough research. And so when I say research, I'm not saying like there's 2 extremes to this. There is one person who takes 5 years to do research, right? So you could have wrote like 5, 10, 12 novels by then. And then on one extreme, you have somebody who does research for a day and then they're trying to launch already. So I was somewhere in the middle, but I feel like I could have always done more. And so on my first book, I don't even know if I took a year to do research. I literally was doing research as I was doing it. And that was the huge mistake. I don't think I took enough time to actually like think things through, because I'm definitely a type A personality. I'm a go-getter. Like, you tell me what to do, Jesus, and I'm like, hoo, 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 hoo. You know what I'm saying? Your girl is sprinting towards the finish line. And so there would be times to where I would do research and then do it. Do research and then proofread. Do research and then launch. Do research and then market. Like, that was my strategy, but I feel like I should have did a lot more research in the beginning, and that would have saved me time instead of doing it right before I was literally coming up to do it. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just wish I would have did more research initially in the beginning regarding everything regarding being an author versus doing it while I'm in the mix of it. Because when you're in the mix of doing stuff, you don't have time to really think like, okay, maybe I should think about this, or maybe I should consider this. Like, it's kind of like, okay, it's time to go. Like, A, B, C, D, which one you gonna do? And I just wish I would have did a lot more research prior to writing my first novel. Second thing I would recommend, that if you are writing your first book, is to not take any time off. Y'all, if I could put this in big bold letters, like, this would be key. I took 3 years off from writing my first book. Like, I don't know what happened. Life was just happening to me, and I don't know what happened, but literally I started the book and I was faithful, and then like I was like, do I even really want to do this? And then life was happening. I had just joined the military. I was about to deploy. I was like, what did I don't even think I took 3 years off from. I forgot I had wrote a book. I literally forgot all about the book. It wasn't until I went to church and this married couple spoke like a word over my life, and he was like, oh, it's a book inside of you. There's books inside of you. And I was like, oh yeah, my bad, Jesus. I forgot. See, Jesus, it was a lot going on down here in the earth. My bad, Jesus. I'm back to my purpose now. Back to it. Got it. Okay. I forgot all about the book, y'all. And so I want to recommend, do not take any time off. So when I say don't take no time off, I'm not saying that you're writing your book in 2 days. I'm not saying that you literally can't take a day off or maybe a week off, because sometimes we do experience like writer's block, or you're just not really getting the inspiration that you need. Yes, that is perfectly fine. I highly recommend that you do something like that. When I say don't take no time off, I'm saying extended periods of time. I'm not saying like you take a day off or a week off. I'm talking about extended periods of time to where it's like you're losing the inspiration to write. That's when the issue comes into play. Like 6 months off, that's the issue. Like, that's an issue. A year off, 3 years off, like I did, that's an issue. And so I want you to realize is that life is always going to happen, y'all. It's not going to be like you write a book and then everything else just is going to be put on pause while you are in this little author stage. Life still goes on. Life still happens. Family, friends, your loved ones, your career, everything still is going on. So you can't, people use that as an excuse, like life is happening. Okay, life happens to all of us. You can't get sidetracked. And that is the greatest enemy of the devil. That is the greatest enemy that he uses, is distraction for authors. Because what end up happening is something will come up, a meet in a Zoom, and it's like small, subtle changes to where like a whole year will pass, and you're like, I don't even think I wrote anything this year. And the crazy thing about it is, like I said, I took 3 years off, and it literally got to the point, it was like slow, subtle changes. I would stop writing for a week. I would stop writing for a month. I would stop writing for a year. Next thing I look around, I forgot all about the book. And I don't want that to be the case for you. I want you to continue to stay motivated and to stay inspired and to stay, on the track, because your book is going to help somebody. It's going to change the world. And you have to realize that it's not about you. Your purpose, your gifts, your calling of writing is not about you. You've been given a gift to share with the world. And if you allow life to happen and you allow distractions to come in, you're robbing yourself of your gift, but you're also robbing the world of the gift and the treasure that will be within your book. The third thing that I wish I would have did on my first book is the business aspect. So I talked about this in my other video where I talked about the different stages of producing your book. The business stage, y'all, I did not know. Ooh, I didn't know. Somebody, listen, I was not prepared for the business side of things. That is my weak aspect. I will be honest with you. I did not prepare at all enough for the business stage. Bookkeeping, receipts, filing a business license, getting a business account, all of these small moving things that come into play, especially when it's tax season. Oh, baby, I just wasn't ready for it. I just wasn't ready for it. And so I want to prepare you, and I want to really, really harp on, when you are an author, it's not about just producing your product. It's not about just the book. It's not about the photo shoot. It's not about the marketing. The business stuff is so critical. And if you mess up in the small stages, in your beginning stages, it's literally going to lead to a whole whirlwind of trouble. Literally get a firm foundation of how you want to run the business side of your book. If you want me to do a separate video on this, I definitely will, and I can. Like I said, I'm still a beginner at this. I'm still learning, but I definitely know a lot more now than I did when I first wrote my first book, Puzzle Pieces of Purpose. But really and truly look at the business side. Know how you're going to be keeping track of receipts. Know about quotes. Know about copyright. Know about just EIN numbers. There's so many moving pieces with it. And like I said, just make sure you do your research. Make sure that you know what's going on with your business, because you don't want it to be tax season and you're literally scrambling for receipts. You're scrambling for stuff. You don't know what happened to that, when you pay that, who you owe. Literally keep track of all of that in the beginning, so that when it comes up, you can just hand over yourself to your tax expert, or if you do it yourself, file it yourself, and you have everything ready. So hopefully this video helped you. Hopefully you can see all of the many mistakes that I made on my first novel, Puzzle Pieces of Purpose, How to Find Your Purpose in Life. Make sure that y'all also check that out. It will be linked down below in the description box. If you need encouragement, or you know somebody else who may need encouragement, please write into my foundation, www.lettersforlife.net, where I encourage people through handwritten letters of encouragement. As always, I love you, but most importantly though, God loves you.
I dream about it, I go get it, that's how I do it. Not in the stars, I'm not lucky, I just